More and more people are catching a coach this Christmas. The biggest coach operator, National Express, says 1 million have booked to travel with them over the Christmas period, with this coming Saturday and next Tuesday expected to be especially busy. The coach companies have come out winners from a bad year on the railways. Rail strikes and working from home have kept passenger numbers 17% below what they were before the pandemic. By contrast, coach travel is up around a third this year. National Express says it expects passenger numbers this year to be close to the levels of 2019, when they had 21 million passengers. John Boughton is their commercial director.
So National Express has grown enormously over 2023. Over the first 3 quarters of this year, the number of journeys versus 22 was up about 33%. So that's about 4 million additional passenger journeys. And actually that breaks down differently depending on where you look. So around half our services go to and from airports. Now those routes are up almost 70% in the first 3 quarters of the year. Where I think we're probably seeing the most acute growth is where rail has seen the most acute problems. So TransPennine, for example, stands out where we've seen enormous growth. Manchester to London would be another one. Customers' faith in rail has been shaken to the point where they're willing to look at an alternative form of transport they wouldn't normally take. Where we're really putting focus on is, well, what else does it take to really get people to ditch cars and to switch across from rail? And we're looking at, how do we make our services faster? So we've got a whole series of things that we're doing to take stops out and to create more direct services. Our biggest challenge is getting people to consider us, try us, because we know that when they do, they stay loyal fans of National Express.
Specifically this Christmas, what's it looking like? How are bookings compared to last in terms of proportion and numbers?
Christmas this year looks like it'll be the busiest one that we've ever had. I think we're coming off the back of a couple of things. I think people have lost faith in rail. You want to get home at Christmas. You absolutely know that you want to get home at Christmas. And I think rail has become unreliable to the extent that people don't entirely trust that. There's also lots of engineering works in rail over the Christmas period. So we're seeing very, very busy period right across the festive season. We'll carry around 1 million passengers. It's about 10% up on prior year. Friday the 22nd, Saturday the 23rd of December look like a very, very busy set of getaway days.
How does it compare to what you were doing pre-pandemic?
Our network has recovered to around about 90 or 95% of 2019. So as we go into 2024, we will build that back to 100%. I think we appeal to customers who are looking for value for money. And I think that will be equally important, if not more important, as we go into 2024.
That was John Boughton, the commercial director of National Express, talking to our producer Kevin Mosley. A new coach company is operating in the UK. It's Flixbus. Flixbus offers very cheap travel in 41 countries around the world, and it came here just after the lockdowns ended in April 2021. Andreas Schorling is the managing director of Flix in the UK. Andreas, good afternoon to you. Tell us then, how are your Christmas bookings going and where are people travelling?
Thank you for having us. And yes, Christmas is a fantastic travel period. We all know we want to come home to friends and families. And if we look at our network, we've doubled the size of the network this year. That's reflective for the Christmas network as well. And as such, we have more than doubled the passengers that are traveling with us.
You can travel all over the place on your buses, can't you?
Absolutely. It's a national network. We're covering over 60 destinations in the UK. The global network has 2,500 in 41 countries, as you mentioned.
Now, you're not so much a coach company as a booking platform. Tell us how Flix works.
Brilliant question. And yes, we consider ourselves to be a travel tech company. So we take care of the entire digital experience in the travel. And then we're working with operators who are providing the travel service. And that is in what we consider to bring coach travel into the 21st century.
So you allow other coach companies and operators to use the platform. There's a lot of competition, isn't there, in the UK coach market? I mean, why do you feel you have something additional to offer with that?
We think that coach travel is going through a renaissance, and Flixbus was founded 10 years ago and has expanded into 41 countries. And we're bringing a different level of focus on the customer experience, where people can buy tickets online or through the app. They have paperless tickets. They can come on board. They can charge their devices and then connect to the Wi-Fi. So it's a really good travel experience.
When you get your ticket through, do you understand who you've booked with? So if the coach doesn't show up or is cancelled, do you have anywhere to ring if you're standing there waiting?
Absolutely. I think it's important to underline that you're buying a ticket from Flixbus and we are responsible to provide the service. Then we have relations with operators who are providing that service. We also have customer service that you can reach through phone, email, chat. So there's all different channels that people are used to using nowadays.
24 hours?
The phone is during office hours, and the other channels are 24/7.
The reason I press it is that you have a terrible Trustpilot score. You've got 1.5 stars compared with 3 for Megabus, 4 for National Express. It seems when you read those that people love the prices because they're very low, but then they hate it when services are cancelled, and some people say the drivers seem put upon and grumpy. We're measuring the quality of our services through something that's called NPS, Net Promoter Score, and we're then sending service directly to customers and receiving feedback from them for those who have actually confirmed traveled on the services. And we're seeing industry level NPS, meaning we see people enjoying our services. We also have very good return rates. So I really invite anyone who is considering travel by coach to try our services. Majority of people are very satisfied. Well, you're saying you do your own scoring. You think the Trustpilot score is not accurate. It's not an accurate reflection of what you're doing.
I'm not kind of engaged with Trustpilot, and I leave to them how they conduct the research. But we are asking our passengers directly and are getting feedback from them, and they are very satisfied with the services.
We heard John Boughton talking about how National Express, the biggest carrier, has capitalised on the disruption that strikes have caused on the railways. But those disputes are settled now. So won't passengers drift back to the trains?
I think on the contrary, what we are seeing is that people are really enjoying the coach experience. And I think there's been a misconception or an old perception on coach travel, where in the past it hasn't been a great experience, whereas today with modern vehicles are very comfortable, people are actually having a great experience. And especially considering how many people that are traveling with low-cost airlines nowadays, the experience on a coach is much more comfortable.
Andreas Schorling, Managing Director of Flix in the UK. Thanks so much for coming on. The sale of crafts, handmade things,